Muito bem, cá estou eu para mais uma live de Genshin Impact, dessa vez continuando quinto dia. Eu não consegui jogar todos os dias o Genshin desde que eu voltei a jogar ele na semana passada. Mas estou tentando. Vamos lá, hoje vamos dando sequência, né? Já dentro da nossa Square Cam, bora para mais uma passada, né, inteira aqui. Tem bastante coisa para poder fazer, imagino eu. Antes de começar a continuar a história, propriamente dito, de onde eu parei, tem bastante coisa ainda assim para poder fazer. Tem diária, tem semanal, né, que eu não vou fazer. Não tô muito preocupado com isso no momento. Eu nem sei exatamente quais personagens que eu vou upar mais agora. Tanto que eu tô usando aqui a Saio, né, cara? A Saio podia usar ela, podia melhorar ela. Vamos lá. Recompensa de retorno. Ficou fraquinho isso aqui. Já foi melhor, viu? Olha lá, tem mais 3. Eu não posso furar nenhum dia mais praticamente. Tá bom. Desejo de retorno. Dá pra dar uma upada boa pra poder upar a própria Saio mesmo, hein? Tem 4 ali. Em curto com anos anteriores, hoje é meu aniversário. O aviso da 4.3, muito bem. Trocou aqui já? Não, resta 1 dia e 1 hora. Tá bom então, né? Tá bom. A próxima vez que eu entrar no jogo, provavelmente já trocou esse negócio aqui. Não é um problema. Então eu acho que eu vou começar... O que eu posso upar na Saio? Será? Eu gostei de jogar com ela, cara. É divertidinha. A ascensão dela precisa de... Verme da areia ou hipóstase anemo. E... núcleo de marionete. Pior que isso aqui não tem nada que sirva pra ela mesmo, propriamente dito. O espadão até daria pra melhorar, mas nem sei se é a arma certa. Nem upei nada disso daqui. Aqui teria que arrumar. Quarta, sábado e domingo, ou seja, não é hoje. Muito bom. Começamos bem. Aqui tá no 10, aqui tá no 10, aqui tá no 10. Aqui eu tava upando. Terça-feira, não é hoje. Aqui tá no 10, aqui já tá no 10 há muito tempo. Aqui pode ser. Olha lá, segunda-feira. Que belezinha. E o chifrão do Asdara. Tá. Eu acho que eu posso torrar nesse daqui. Já vamos direto pro que interessa. Dá pra fazer 4 vezes. Aí, ó. Até podia manter esse mesmo, né? Vamos. Eu sei que é melhor jogar com o time míssel, né? Usando a Fission no lugar da Saio, mas... Tá, vamos trocar. Vamos trocar aqui, vamos botar minha arqueira que funciona melhor. Yeah, I know. Vambora. 4 vezes, rapidinho. Aliás, pelo que eu vi na tua última atualização, agora a gente não precisa ficar descendo toda a escadaria e tal. Já começa direto no que interessa mesmo, que já poupa um tempo danado. O que é bom, porque antes perdia muito tempo andando à toa, né? No caso aqui tem que subir a escadaria, muito bem. Mas deu pra entender o que eu quis dizer, né? Acho que sim. Ah.
Another test subject. One strike will suffice my flame.
Oz revealed by... There is no escape. Now you shall perish.
Strike suffices. Freeze.
Allow me. By royal decree, shine down. Insolent.
O maluco foi aonde, velho? Isso aí. Agora tem mais 3. Pra Yoimiya, caramba. A Yoimiya é muito bom de jogar. Eu nem lembrava mais dela. Pra ser mais sincero mesmo, eu já nem lembrava da Yoimiya. Ué, a gente não começava de onde a gente tinha que continuar? Não entendi. Subir a escadaria de novo? Chatão.
Another test subject.
Hold the line. Oz revealed. There is no escape. Torn to oblivion.
The wrong test. Freeze.
Hey. Shine down.
Já fui mais rápido. Oh, usei resina. Não! Era normal! Ah. Continuar desafio. Ou é a próxima atualização, então, que a gente não vai ter que fazer esse caminho todo de novo. Caramba. Aí vai dar bom. Tá, vamos lá, Shogun. Mete a porrada nesses caras aí. Opa.
Freeze.
I see everything.
Strike will suffice.
Rest and rebuild. By royal decree. Now you shall perish. Erase all threats.
Another test subject.
Everyone hold hands. Let's move on.
The wrong test subject.
Let's move out, é isso aí. Ué? Como assim tá sem áudio, meu filho? Mas eu tô falando, tá aparecendo no OBS. Eu não entendi, foi nada. Eu abrir aqui só pra ver. Ah, tem áudio sim, o YouTube que tá doidão na cabeça. YouTube, a taxa de bits de transmissão atual é 0, é menor que a recomendada. Meu Deus, não, tem áudio sim, YouTube. Que isso, irmão? Não zoa com a minha cara assim, velho. Que isso? Te fiz nada, YouTube. Vamos lá. Mais 2. Pelo menos. Ai, ai. Falando nisso, eu não faço ideia de qual que é o próximo. Eu sei que na próxima atualização vai ser uma artilharia pesada, todo mundo vai ter arma. Meu Deus, nem parece mais esse jogo. O que aconteceu, velho? Vai ser massa. Modernizaram o jogo.
One strike will suffice.
Opa!
Allow me.
Cheap tricks.
There is no escape. Inazuma shines eternal.
Another test.
Remove all obstacles.
Opa! Ah!
Fall before me. Freeze.
Ah, irmão. O maluco tá rápido, hein?
Billowing surge.
Strike. Free place.
Let's move out. Illusion shattered. Hey.
Cut down. Like this.
Derrubou a Shogun, cara. Foi legal. Mais uma vez, vai. Bom que eu me acordei aqui. Desperta, bicho. Vambora. Cara, dizer que eu tava com quase 100%. Uma época eu cheguei a ter o 100% do Genshin. E aí, simplesmente,
What's one more?
foi com o tempo.
I see everything.
One strike will suffice.
Rest and rebuild. Flaws revealed. There is no escape. Torn to oblivion.
Fall before you. Freeze.
Shine down. Hey.
Ready. Cut down. The wrong test subject.
De bobeira. Vai. Tá, aqui acabou as diárias. Deixa eu dar uma última passada pra ver se, por acaso, vai que aconteça, tem as outras diárias também, do bônus. Ou não. Na semana passada eu cheguei a fazer 7 dessas. É bastante coisa pra uma passada só. Era aqui, talvez? Ai, tem que fazer esse ainda. Ai. Máscara de culpa. Nossa, é o mesmo barulhinho do... Ai, do Wonder. E bom... Nova área disponível, nem cheguei lá ainda. Faltou abismo. Nossa. Esse faz uns 6 meses que eu não faço. Até que eu posso testar ele aqui dentro? E posso! Cara, isso vai dar uma bugada. Dentro de um estágio, fazer o teste do personagem. Talvez não, né? O Shinobi, vamos lá. Eu não me lembro mais.
Dodge this.
Out the frying pan, into the fire. Come a little closer.
O que aconteceu com a voz da Lisa, cara?
You're in for a little shock. Let's spark things up a little.
Freeze! This moment will be frozen.
Boba, get them! Hey-ya! Out of my way! Out the frying pan, into the fire! You're toast!
Try not to enjoy this.
Dodge this!
Mais rápido do que dá pra pensar. Sair do estágio pro estágio. Teoricamente até vai ser mais rápido, porque o estágio é menor do que o mapa. Na teoria. Na prática eu não sei muito bem o que vai acontecer agora. Vamos descobrir. Tá demorando pra carregar. Será que ele vai... Ah, ele me jogou pra fora. É, eu imaginei, né, cara? Não ia poder voltar dentro lá. Não faria muito sentido. Tá. Pam, pam, resgata. Kirara. Prática pra escalar. Muito prática, diga-se. Vamos lá. Causar dano dentro de uma ADI que era um protetor. Nossa, Bárbara. É um time bem...
By royal decree, let the show begin. Service with a smile. Shadow Raven, let night fall.
Bicho, não dá nem graça. Kirara é muito prática em combate. Do tipo, entra, faz o que tem que fazer e vaza. É bem rotativa mesmo. Não dá, ela não é main. Não tá nem perto disso. Mas é muito eficiente na função dela. Interessante. Isso é interessante. Tá amanhecendo. Ah, o Ayato é muito apelão. Aqui eles vão só pelas geminhas. Não vou dar tiro nele, não. Vou esperar o retorno agora. Eu perdi a Furina. Devia ter pego o arco de hidro.
Take cover! Everybody stand back! Flags up! Out of step! Your grand finale!
Be still.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Flags fly! Strike is one! Nice and spicy! Hey-ya!
Kamisato. Suiu.
Credo. Que ignorância. O Ayato vai ficar muito forte lá na Atlanta, eu acho. Pelo menos. Quando chegar na Terra do Fogo lá. Aí o bicho vai pegar. Lá o negócio vai ser muito louco. Pra quem tiver hidro lá, acho que os hidros vão ter um momento de voltar. E o eletro vai cair bastante lá, porque... Ou eles vão reconstruir a parte de explosão, porque a explosão normal é muito ruim. Vamos lá. Testar o coronel. General. Coronel. General Sino. Opa. O homem das piadas. Chup chup.
Our bond is strong.
Nowhere to run! Surrender!
Stand with me.
Let me read you a verse.
Futile! Judgment is upon you!
Ah! Pô, nas costas, mano. Como assim?
Rain outlines your fate. Rain cutter.
Our bond is strong. Lightning, terrifying.
Surrender! Through me, justice is served! Your penance is due!
Meh. Não é grande coisa. Não convenceu. Pelo menos pra isso daqui, não muito. Esperava um pouco mais. Admito. Muito exigente, talvez. Mas esperava um pouquinho mais, sim. Tá. Testei os personagens. Aparentemente a gente não tem mais nada aqui porque ficou só as áreas, então acabou. Dito isso, vamos fazer as diárias lá em Fontaine. Eu vou passar no Bully, que deve estar lotado. Primeiramente. Eu nem lembrava do Bully. Acho que eu joguei umas 3 vezes aqui, eu não passei no Bully nenhuma vez. Esqueci completamente dele. Até lembrei em um ou outro momento, mas... acabei deixando de lado. Aí ficou ruim. Aqui eu falar contigo.
This realm.
Melhorar isso aqui. Papapá. Alguém tá no 7, beleza. Fazer móveis, né? Fazer os 10. 10. Uma coisa que eu não fiz ainda. Ó, esse aqui é novo. O que é isso aqui? Um tapete? Onde é que veio esse troço? Tapete do restaurante Diálogo Igual. Tá bom, então. Não tem muita coisa. Opa! Não. Achei que tivesse um que eu não tinha feito ainda, mas eu fiz. Aqui custa o quê? Pra fazer 8 papelzinhos. Os novos estão tudo aqui, mas eu não tenho madeira pra fazer. Ah, que pena. E umas almofadinhas. Aí, ó. Nossa, eu nem vejo o que eu tô fazendo. Parará, parará.
If you ever...
Fechou. Fechou. Beleza. Se bem que eu não devia estar fazendo isso aqui, né? Agora que eu me toquei que o passe de batalha já era. Ô, Robson, te esperta, bicho. Como é que pode? Aí não, né? Perdendo tempo. Muito tempo. Momentos da infância. Vamos lá. Vamos cortar tempo aqui, rapaz. Que isso? Que dormida foi essa, bicho? Eu tô tão no automático ali, aquela parte ali, que eu nem me flagrei que não precisava. Ai, ai. Deixa pra quando venho. Depois da atualização aí. Provavelmente depois de amanhã. Vai chegar a atualização 4.3, eu não terminei ela ainda. Isso é ruim. É boa.
Can I go catch up on my sleep?
Am I imagining things? Or is all this standing making me dizzy?
Tudo bem, próxima. Tudo bem. Gostei da novidade. Eu não tinha feito ainda, só tinha feito uma vez. Tá lá embaixo, pelo visto.
Make my escape. Illusion shattered. Hold the line.
Meu Deus, não pega a borboletinha de cristal, bicho.
There is no escape. I see everything. Everyone hold hands. Shine down. This may hurt a little. Illusion shattered.
Desafio lá. Tem muita coisa pendurada aqui.
Curiosity deserves a reward.
Vou botar a carregar aqui, senão eu vou ficar sem bateria. Aê. Tá, vamos pra próxima. Embromando aqui também não dá. Tá. Esse é o mais próximo, então daqui a gente consegue ir até lá. Meu Deus, eu tô gastando muito tempo. Tá, 130 metros pra lá, vambora. Nossa, são muitos. Lá em cima ainda sobrou um, lá embaixo tem mais um. Meu Deus, parece que tá dando cria os barril, cara. Como assim, velho? Perdi de vista aqui. Ó. Pelos mensageiros, vamos lá. Matar os 3 Fatui.
Another rude night. Let's begin.
Rest and rebuild! Committed to memory! Yes! Hey! Ninjutsu! Hey!
Shine down!
Killjoy, we've only just begun. Miscalculated.
Eu diria que tu miscalculated sim, meu querido. Vamos pra guilda. Daqui vamos pra missão mesmo. Tem mais ou menos uma horinha ainda. Dá pra avançar a história, vamos ver até onde dá pra ir. Na última vez a gente tinha que resgatar o Frei lá. O cara resume o nome dos personagens.
Ad Astra Abyss.
Ah, fechei minhas diárias, né, amiga?
Ad Astra.
Seria aqui. Área administrativa, vambora. Da prisão. Esse é mais um daqueles locais que depois de terminar a missão, provavelmente a gente nunca mais volta, cara. Acelerar o passo aí.
And away I go! Make my escape.
He's awake. Fremine, how do you feel?
Lenny. Lynette.
We're all here.
Where am I?
Onde é que eu tô?
At the fortress of Meripede, Mr. Fremine, and you are no longer in any danger. How do you feel? Don't push yourself if you're not feeling up to it.
Traveler. Paimon. It's been so long.
Eu nem lembro de ti direito.
The sea. There's something wrong with the seawater.
Shh, it's okay. We can talk about it after you've recovered.
No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular seawater. I don't know why it's there, but no one should touch it. Pipes. Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now.
É. Os pipe. Ele entrou pelo cano. Me lembrou um outro jogo, mas a gente não pode falar sobre ele, senão pode tomar um processo. Ai, vamos lá.
I'm in. Seems like this pipe hasn't been used in a long time. It looks abandoned. Where could Master Child be?
Legal.
Getting here!
Frio, espadão, gostei.
This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it?
Lugares que não tem fundo.
It's getting stuck on something. Seems like I'll have to avoid those obstacles while I turn it.
Inteligente. Muito inteligente. Já sobe na posição correta. O mais legal é tá usando framinete com o meu bichinho d'água aí de Fontaine. Ficou certinho. Opa. Tem um baúzinho pra contar a história?
This is where the water starts. Okay. Master Child probably dived into the water. I'll go take a look as well.
Faz sentido. Faz sentido, meu cara. Faz sentido.
The vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them, and recently. I should be going in the right direction. Oh, there are traces here too. I need to keep going. Huh? The traces are gone. But I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait, what the? My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. What's going on? No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it. I can't die here. This is bad. I'm feeling worse and worse, and I'm still underwater. I have to push on.
O labirinto foi rápida. Muito rápida. E aí quando acordou tava no hospital. É isso.
So, in other words, the trail you were following vanished, and you had no idea where Master Child could have gone, but there was also no obvious place for him to have disappeared to.
That's right. I tried my best to swim back, but I had already put some distance between myself and the fortress, and I just couldn't find the strength to keep going. I probably passed out some time after that, and you know the rest.
Miss Clarande brought you back. But we also don't know why she just suddenly appeared at the fortress, or why she went out to save you.
Miss Clorand, you say? I must go thank her in person.
Yeah.
You're still too weak, Fremine. You can go after you've had some more rest.
Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss Clorand will stay here as a guest for another few days, so there's no need to hurry.
A guest? Then I can assume Risley was the one who invited her to come down here?
You should ask His Grace about that. He'll be able to explain better than me. Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on. Wanna come with us, Liddy?
No, please go on without me. I don't want to leave just yet.
Lenny.
The logical part of my brain is aware that we're safe right now, but I still can't bring myself to leave. Both of you are just in danger.
Understood. Then let's just sit together for a while.
In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to head out for now. As long as you stay in here, I don't think you'll be disturbed.
Thank you. I'm so sorry, Lenny.
I'm also really sorry, Lenny. I should have been more careful.
Don't say that. It was all my fault. I was the one who should have been more careful.
If I was stronger, maybe I would have already found Master Child.
No, how can you say that?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
What I'm hearing is, we all dropped the ball at some point during the mission.
Yeah, that's right. It's on all...
Lenny, we understand that you're worried about us, but we're worried about you as well. Please don't blame yourself.
Yeah.
É. Tem uma parte do jogo que eu realmente ainda não fiz. Basicamente aqui, elevar a estátua de Satsumeru. Eu preciso fazer isso em Sumer ainda. Vê se dá pra fazer. O que temos aqui? Ajude Henri a mudar o seu destino. Ele avançou 2 passos em relação à beleza. Não faço ideia, mas também não tô preocupado com isso agora. Abrir baú aí. Não tem mistério. Não faço ideia do que seja. A Ana no País das Maravilhas foi muito legal. Esse aqui foi muito legal. E aqui. Região Mortaine, Florestas de Erinis. Alcançar o nível 10 de reputação. Desbloquear todos os pontos de teleporte. Derrote Narzizen Kraus. Faço ideia do que seja isso. Não tem problema. Por enquanto, não é nosso objetivo aqui. Vambora, bolinha. Aparentemente fechou uma parte ali da história, né? Tava uma vírgula de fechar o capítulo da última vez que eu joguei. Nem percebi. Esse aqui tem pra baixo ali. chega parecendo um tornado, né?
Excuse me.
I take it Mr. Fremine's condition has stabilized?
Of course. I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose of your visit, Miss Sejuane?
I wanted to check up on Miss Clorand. How are you feeling?
Mostly fine, I think.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick physical exam.
All right. Thank you for looking out for me. I'll take my leave for now, then.
Well, Want to explain yourself, Risley?
Of course, but I'm not partial to the word choice of explain. How about enlighten? Where should I begin? How about you start by asking me any questions you have? You can start with whichever one you'd like to get in.
Then Paimon will begin. Did you know about Lenny's goals from the very beginning?
No. I just knew they were Fatui operatives sent to the fortress by the Knave. As for their specific goals, I only figured those out as you made progress on your investigation.
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you didn't know what they were trying to...
They came here with ulterior motives. I'm quite adept at discerning what that kind of behavior signals. Initially, I thought their goal was just to investigate Child's disappearance. Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape, but in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Everything he did, from finding helpers to leaving this place, he did on his own. Of course, it's inevitable that the Knave would make a big deal out of her fellow Harbinger's unexplained disappearance. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went, so I figured I might as well let the Fatui do their own investigative work. All I care about is the answer.
So you were hoping Lenny's group would just do your work for you!
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. I assume that Fremine has told you already, the ratio of primordial seawater around the fortress of Meripede is on the rise. The Forbidden Zone has always been Linny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety, and also to prevent the fortress from becoming entangled in more
Are the rumors true? That you're also a former criminal?
Why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a kind of sentence unto itself? Another form of prison? I just happen to have some support from the rest of the inmates. That's all.
Oh, right! Paimon wanted to ask, who invited...
Me, of course. I paid her good Mora to come down to the fortress for some field work. As a champion duelist, Miss Cloran could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an exceptionally capable person to help me get through the impending crisis.
And saving Fremine was part of that crisis?
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. Had conditions not been as hostile as they were, that's not something you should be asking after. Neuvillette only asked you to investigate Child's whereabouts. All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the Harbinger's disappearance. That should be clear now that you've spoken to Fremine.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a bunch of questions that you threw at us.
You make a compelling case. Do you really want to know the answer that badly?
Yeah, Paimon really wants to know.
Even if the truth may not be pleasant? Follow me.
Eita lasqueira, bicho. O que tem por esse lado? Nada. Bem.
There's a hidden door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Risley.
It seems you've forgotten just what kind of place the Fortress of Meripede is. Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or... Whoa!
Chique. Eu já tinha visto que tinha passagem ali com a visão elemental. Não tava procurando pro baú. Que aliás é a coisa que menos tem nessa parte do jogo, né?
So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, what a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed to go inside. hence the name Forbidden Zone. Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little Fatui friends every—
Well, Paimon wasn't thinking of keeping anything from them.
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of this place for yourself before deciding whether—
Gnoses.
Go!
Falando nisso. Nossa. Tomara que eu não tenha que lutar.
So there's a switch on the side.
Stand back.
Whoa! They all just went up one by one.
Go on, have a look.
Noses. Foi nem um baúzinho pra contar a história, bicho.
I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore any potential danger that could be behind it. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position, likely because some parameter it's been tracking has changed, if only infinitesimally. Normally, I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking? Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those as well. Unfortunately, our dashboard is tracking something less ordinary. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase the pressure from the outside, but the readings didn't change at all. Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the primordial sea. I began to make a few preparations based on that hypothesis. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently conclude that the readings represent the concentration of primordial seawater in the seawater nearby.
The concentration of primordial seawater? But we're already under the sea!
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial seawater got mixed in, and the concentration is steadily rising. Yes, that's very likely.
But forget about the two of us! Not even Novelette knows where the primordial sea could be, much less where we could find and plug a leak. Oh. Oh!
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly, and it's now very close to us. The indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold— Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be turned into puddles in the span of a night.
But that's just too weird! Why would the Fortress of Meripede be built right above a sluice gate for the primordial sea? Who built this place anyway?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. To be honest, you might find the actual answer may be exceedingly boring.
Ninguém vai procurar numa
It's
prisão.
just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede in any traditional sense. What we know about its history has been left to us by the people who used to live here. When the previous Hydro Archon Egeria ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf pack chasing away the banished. The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people, They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced only pain, struggle, and the bone-chilling cold. Some of them began to repent and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro Archon took pity on them and said, "You may go guard my secret, deep underneath the waves." And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began to build a fortress. They became a community down there in the deeps, and over the years helped it to grow. As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the first group of exiles died, they left the yet unfinished fortress to their successors. The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long, this dark underwater fortress became the sinner's only home. And with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as repenting sinners who would regain their freedom once they had sufficiently redeemed themselves. But as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had gotten used to life here, they could no longer feel comfortable living in the overworld. Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls fade away with the ancient secrets of the past. After many, many centuries, few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now they just see it as an integral pillar of Fontanian society, as the place where criminals deserve to be sent. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian. Everyone else just thought he'd made it all up.
But now you know every part of that history is true.
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says. If this gate fails, then everyone will be dissolved into the sea. To be frank, not really. But sadly, that hasn't stopped this prophecy from proving all too accurate. Prophecies are troublesome things. Just hearing one will create the first wave of panic. Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually witnessing it in real time, the third. Let's go somewhere else. I want to show you something.
Muito bom. Gente nunca decepciona. Yeah.
This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our last round of experiments have...
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone!
Huh? Lorvine and Jurier?
No need to panic, you two. I've already told them about our plan.
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul about...
I'm skeptical as well. Are you sure they are trustworthy?
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
Well, how about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin. I trust that you've heard of Edwin? Good. Saves me a bit of time explaining. Edwin's main areas of research were archaeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar with them as well. I hired him to be my technical consultant.
You want to blow up the fortress of Meripede?
Ah, what a lovely idea. I'm already imagining it in my head.
Gotta admit, I'm tempted as well.
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's assistant.
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship with this man.
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder than Edwin.
Jeez, forget I said anything then. Follow me.
Whoa, There's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
Uma hora tudo é possível.
Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
What a huge ship? This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before. What's going on?
How much do you know about Fontanian history?
Not much at all.
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he created his nation above the surging waves. He called his nation Lemuria and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them to join his empire.
There's a ship in this story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of a voyage.
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. Certainly can't hurt to give it a try. So the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath the gate, I also began this project.
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontanians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster. Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a reckless call. Alright, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Do you have any other questions? Seems like you're good. Come on, I'll take you back.
Cara, se deram o trabalho de modelar tudo isso pra parecer 5 segundos. É muita vontade, velho. Vamos combinar. Maravilha.
I'll leave you here for now.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw. What you do from here on out will likely affect those 3 as well.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
Great. I look forward to what happens next.
Wow. Bolinha nunca decepciona.
We're back!
Welcome back. Do you want a cup of tea?
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Huh. Actually, now that you mention it, I just remembered something now. While I was sedated, I could still barely hear 2 people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water and even the teacups themselves.
Must have been Risley and Sejuin.
Yeah, I heard 1 male voice and 1 female, so it should have been the 2 of them.
I really can't make sense of this place.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn anything from Risley?
Yeah, he
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sijuin is also busy with something or other. So let's just talk here.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost primordial sea is probably very close to the fortress of Meripede.
Ooh, he's good. He got that right on the first try.
That's our Linny.
Secondly, Wriothesley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, he probably ignored us at first because he was hoping we could find Master Child for him. What's more, the Fortress of Meripede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervulet. Wriothesley is basically the king of a no-man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the 2 factions are pitted against each other, Wriothesley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
You're super smart.
Thanks so much. Then finally, there's the last question. If Wriothesley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the changing nature of the seawater. He's even gotten Cloran to help him out. That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father to deal with him directly. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his chip might be. But let me guess. You have the
I can't believe it.
The sea will engulf everyone. Just like the prophecy said.
Could Wriothesley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to deal with this crisis? If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could Wriothesley have known that?
Or perhaps he didn't know, and just wanted to bring Father over to his side? Which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our father. No matter what, we're on your side. The 2 of you have already aided us far too much. We probably wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Hearth at any time. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together, the 3 of us basically see you as family now.
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting Linny when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us. We
Eu
didn't
não faria isso não.
to do it.
Eles ainda são Fatui pra mim.
So formal all of a sudden.
Given your strength, you might not need our help at all. But if you are ever in danger, we will try our best to protect you.
Aww, the sound of that makes Paimon feel all warm and safe inside.
Ela tá com fome.
Paimon's hungry.
Angry.
Oh, you've done so much already. Go get some food.
Alright, then we'll catch you guys in...
Ainda são Fatui, hein?
I feel...
You're incredibly helpful.
Yeah, you 2 are always telling me not to push my...
Welfare meals now being served in the coupon cafeteria.
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well! Traveler and Paimon! Over here! Are you here for dinner too, Miss? And I'm taking the opportunity to prepare Miss Cloran's dinner as well. Huh. You're right! What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like. Me too! Don't forget Paimon! No problem. So delicious. Paimon's so happy. Paimon wants to feast like this every day. Feeling full yet? How's the food? Delicious. I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see, the expression on your face just now? The muscle here just moved. What's Sigewin? Do you do this to help your patients or to better understand human beings? A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melazine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take good care of you. You're really good at taking care of people. Even though you're so short, you still talk and act like an older sister. Really? You're reminded of an older sister? That's great to hear. Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's office? When you said that you were protecting Linny and his siblings as well. Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy. I was getting a bit worried after. Thankfully, Clorand is very strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. His Grace also sealed the pipes after Clorand left, to make sure that Linny wouldn't impulsively chase after his brother. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once Miss... Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linny as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to be in any real danger. You were all super considerate and real... It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least this has been His Grace's style for as long as he's been the leader. Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nervula would come down here more often too. I feel like he'd like it here, with all the darkness and chaos.
Não faz muito sentido.
Get a good night's rest, you two. You both worked very hard.
Nem baúzinho pra contar a história.
So much has happened. Paimon just feels absolutely exhausted now that she's finally relaxed. Paimon's super sleepy. Are you sleepy too?
É a Paimon dormindo, velho.
Delicious. Paimon wants seconds for free.
For free.
Out of my way! Get out of my way! What happened? Why is everyone running? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Who's yelling?
Deu ruim. Deu Deu ruim. Rápido.
What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hey! What's wrong with these people? They won't even talk.
They're here! Yeah! There you are! Oh, thank goodness!
Quisto and Lavaroon, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. Lavaroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully completed.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up? Why is it suddenly my idea?
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us. Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible, upwards and outwards.
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey, where are you going?
We have to go find the Duke! You two just go and get out! Go on without us!
Toca a ficha, irmão.
Hey, hey! Be careful!
Attention! Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible.
Meter a porrada.
They're here.
Just like I said.
What happened?
You're just in time. But be ready to run.
Corre do mar de Fanta, meu amigo, aí já era.
Three, two, one.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense.
Bora.
The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Deu ruim. Deu ruim rápido. A história do Genshin nunca decepciona. Impressionante isso.
Nervalet? Why are you here?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately. Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina, and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her. Will do. You have my sincerest gratitude.
And away I go! Look! There are a ton of Fatui and Palais Mermonia people over there! The knave... Are you two the Traveler and Paimon? Monsieur Nervalet, though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial conversation, unlikely to give rise to violence. But it...
Pode deixar comigo, eu vou descer o sarrafo na Fatui. Se não for o chefe semanal pra meter a porrada, é um desperdício. E eu tô quase terminando meu tempo da live hoje. Ok. Piro.
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Yeah.
Of course. How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion would be too lonely and unbecoming of my station.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the knave, one of the 11 Fatui harbingers.
I've already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here.
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Farina and I.
Child.
I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that he's an excellent swimmer.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked certainly pretty impressive, yeah.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Nuvillette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier, as you well know.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still alive.
Oh, and just how do you know that?
Because we found evidence that proved he left the Fortress of Meripede.
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
The Fortress of Meripede lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, I picked it up on his behalf. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the opera house. Is it something like that?
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter.
Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Farina.
Huh? I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled, and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
Tá bom, então. É só pra mostrar o quão forte ele é, né? Era ele e o Real Wesley. Eram os do banner na época. É muito estranho jogar fora de sincronia com os banners, porque não faz muito sentido, né? Tipo, eu tô vendo umas coisas e não tem nada a ver, os personagens nem estão disponíveis.
Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed. But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codices.
Tirando onda ainda, né?
was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Mermonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
É. Os Fatui sendo Fatui. Aliás, cadê o Linné, Linette e companhia, né? Talvez não tenham feito nada. O negócio estourou por si só. É uma possibilidade. Uma real possibilidade, né?
I must say, we've spent long enough playing house, Miss Farina. As the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I originally thought. But looking at your expression, was I wrong? And you haven't a clue?
What are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable? The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Heart have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures.
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high.
Separados.
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at the fated time. It is just that beings like yourselves are unable to perceive them as...
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as...
an emergency response plan?
Oh, that look in your eyes. Have you not even prepared one of those?
The emergency response plan is also strictly confidential.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Farina. I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Neuvillette is not at the tea party with us today. Miss
Yeah, yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone. Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard. You too, Paimon.
Thank you. Paimon will take you up on that offer. Oh, Paimon's super full. That cake was great.
If it's on my tea table, it must be of the highest quality. Yes, and we must thank the knave.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table. And I was merely catering to Miss Farina's tastes, seeking a chance to chat over tea. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day? There are still a few matters that I need to take care of, so I must take my leave now.
Very well. We'll end it here.
Mind seeing me off, Traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I'm...
Paimon's coming too!
The tea party turned out to be even more difficult than I'd imagined. Why are you looking at me like that? Is something the matter?
Ela é uma pessoa, não um hidróculo. Pelo menos isso. Parece um cinema o lugar. Dá pra ver tudo daqui. Tudo bem.
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my gratitude. Do I look like an irresponsible father to you? The House of the Hearth is very important. That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them. Especially Linny.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Farina? You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the Fortress of Meropide.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Furina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter, you!
Ela disfarçada.
Dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Furina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me! I'm begging you!
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Furina dares not mention this. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Furina quietly cried alone. She was so scared that she could not sleep that night, nor could she even bring herself to eat her cake. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Iudex Neuvillette is actually the genuine article. I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please speak.
News from the Fortress of Meropide. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Ridesley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a Harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic pressure on the Fontaine authorities. Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon and Iudex Neuvillette. Oh, and I have an additional mission for you three.
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. With this as my excuse, I can ask for an official audience and continue my investigation of Furina and Iudex Neuvillette. The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the Fortress of Meropide will be a front. Lenny and his group will be responsible.
Profundo. Ela é bem maquinável aí, né? Maquiavélica. E aqui já é o fim da minha linha. Assim que voltar ao controle. Mas é muito bonito o design da serva. O pai. De água.
You should know the rest. Lenny's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have hidden anything from you.
É isso aí.
You That's the Hydro Archon?
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, it's that Iudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon. But now, that doesn't seem right to me either. I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Iudex Neuvillette or for... Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate with you. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday. He certainly returned quickly. You must want to catch up with each other.
Neuvillette, is it over?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. I am concerned that sooner or later the prophesized events will occur. Thank you for protecting Furina. To put it simply, I used my power to force back the primordial sea and reseal the sluice gate. So as expected, the knave has turned up the pressure on Furina. Permission granted.
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon, right? You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something else. We won't try to force you. You guys in Fontaine are super strange.
If by the phrase, you guys, you are referring to Furina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on it. I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief, and now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events. You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Caramba!
And what are you thinking?
Ele é o rei dragão da água.
The dragon of... what? Huh?
Please do not be so surprised. Furina? My apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign of...
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it a secret. There's still something Paimon wants to ask you, though.
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Teyvat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
There are 7 elemental Archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
Oh, so even you can't solve it.
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to discuss.
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. We'll see you another time.
Take care.
Já deu o plot daí, né? Já deu pra sacar o que vai pegar. Retorne pra prisão? Não, obrigado. Caramba, tá chovendo aqui. Moedão aí. Ixi, não tem o selinho, tem que começar a coletar os baús. Mas é isso. Vou indo nessa, gente. Abração, valeu, fui.